Hello and welcome to a new video where I'll be ranking all the F1 tracks for the 2023 season. So let me quickly go through the tiers. At the top, we're going to start with the Holy Grail tracks. These are the tracks that I think are just a perfect track, really. Nothing wrong with them at all, and should keep the tracks for ages. Amazing is slightly below that, and these are still amazing tracks. There might be one or two things I don't really like about them, but they're still really good. And then good are things that are sort of equal in good and bad things, but it's sort of just really good and I still enjoy them. Average, as it states in the name, was pretty normal track, not like amazing, not awful, just in the middle. Again, is the tracks that I just feel shouldn't really be in the F1 calendar because they're not really that good, and the demolished now are tracks that I despise with a passion. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. But before I do put any tracks in any of the ranks, please don't get offended. These are my opinions. If you do want to share your opinions, obviously put them in the comments below. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Starting off, we have Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi, so I think it's alright. Could be better. I'm gonna put in good. It's alright, not the best, but still decent. Next, we've got Azerbaijan. I'm going to put this in average. It depends on the year, really, and how the race goes. But the track in general isn't my favourite. There's some parts of it that are really good. Controversially for me is Castle Corner. I do think that's probably one of the best corners or little sections in a lot of the tracks. Some people don't really like it, but I like it. Just adds a bit more excitement to the whole Grand Prix and the whole weekend, really. So yeah, that's how I'm thinking. Okay, and then go into the amazing slot really quickly. Last season, I would put in good because that little chicane, I think that just really ruins it. But now they got rid of it. That last little section, Sector 3, is really good. I really like what they've done. And I think it's a great change. It's really good that they changed it. And going on is Austin in America. One of the 3 American tracks for the season. I mean, next year they're probably going to get 4th. I don't think they are, but you know, it'd be quite funny if they do. Just last minute. So I'm going to put this in good. I do like it. It's a good track. I don't think it can reach Barcelona level. And now we're going to get into Hungary. And now this is going to be a bit of an interesting one because I don't really know what I think about Hungary. I'm going to put it in good because I'm not really sure about it. It's alright, could be better, but still not awful. Next we've got Imola. I think this has to go into amazing for me. This is just really good track in my opinion. I think some people don't really like it, but I do. I enjoy it every weekend in the calendar when it's on. I just look forward to it. It's a good track, but I don't think it's so good to be Holy Grail. But the next track is the Brazilian Grand Prix is the Holy Grail of tracks. Personally, in my opinion, I think it's really good. I think it's just a perfect track. Perfect mix of corners and high-speed straights. And also that last little section, Sector 3, going on to the main straight is so fast-paced and just really exciting. And going from Holy Grail to a sort of average track, Saudi Arabia in average because it's not my favourite, it's not the best, not the worst, so I think average is the best place to put it. And now we've got Las Vegas, and we haven't had this in the calendar yet, but I've played on F1 2023. I didn't think it was going to be good, but after playing it in F1 2023, I do think it could possibly be in the good category. I mean, obviously that's a game, not the actual thing, so I have to see in the actual weekend, but that's where I need to put it now. And I think it's probably a good place to put it. I mean, I can change it after I see it. I mean, I'll have an updated tier list at the end of the season to look back and compare the two, see what they're like. And I've got Melbourne. I'm going to put this into good because I think it's really good. It could be better some places, but I think it's still all round great track. Now we got Mexico, and I'm going to put this into the top end of average. I think it's good. It's just on the borderline between good and average, I think. But it's not quite in the good category just for me at the moment. And then we've got Miami. I know it's only been here for 2 seasons, but I'm going to put it in the bottom end of average, leaning towards again. It's really not my favourite, and it's just. I mean, it can be eventful, really, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's that good. And oh no, I just see what's next, and it's going to be very interesting. And that is Monaco, and I am going to go. This is. I'm going to put it again. I don't think it's nearly at a demolish now stage because I've just it's just built for older generations of cars. Actually, I'm going to put it in demolish because I don't think it should be an F1 track at the moment. The only racing that happens is in qualifying, and when your track's turning into that, I think it's time to get rid of it. I won't be surprised in the next few seasons we'll see it get removed from the calendar. But I know that a lot of people will be disappointed with it, but I'll party when that happens because I do not like it whatsoever. And we've got Montreal. I'm going to put that above Austin and Hungary and good. I think it's really good. I think it's quite an enjoyable track. It's got good layout, quite exciting, loads of history, World Champions. I think it's really good. But the next one is going straight to Holy Grail. I think Monza is probably one of the best tracks in the season for me. I really enjoy it whenever it's happening. I mean, that incident a few seasons back with Verstappen and Hamilton could change my mind a bit, but for me, it's Holy Grail. Not even for F1 as well, GT races as well. Any motorsport there is just, you're going to have a good time watching it. We've got Qatar, and I really don't know about Qatar, so I'm going to put it in average, but that's purely because we haven't seen it, what it's like for a weekend there, so that's where I'm going to put it for now. And Austria, actually, I'm going to put this into amazing, because that last weekend, Austria was just so eventful and just exciting to watch. There's so many time penalties as well. I don't know if you watched it, but if you did, you realise how many time penalties there were. It's absolutely crazy. And then going into Bahrain, I'm going to put this in good. I'm going to put it below Melbourne and move Melbourne up above Hungary. I think it deserves to be better. I mean, yeah, I think it could be better, but still alright and decent opening race to the calendar. We've got Silverstone, and this is going to the top, right at Holy Grail. It's just a classic. I just get excited whenever I see it's next weekend. It's like, oh yeah, it's Silverstone. I'm going to get excited for that, and I enjoy it every single weekend when it comes on. We've got Singapore. Actually, in the last few years, I've actually quite enjoyed it, so I'm going to put it at the top of good. I'm going to move these because I need to put Montreal at the top of good. It's just really good. And you might think nothing can top Silverstone, but I do think Spa can, and I don't think it can just top Silverstone. But I think it's the best track in the calendar. I think it's the perfect track for an F1 race. I just really enjoy it. Every single moment of it is perfect. There's no section of the track which I feel should be changed or altered in any way. It's just a perfect track. And also a near perfect track, two actually coming up. We've got Suzuka. Now this is a really, really interesting track, how it overlaps with the bridge, and it's just a really good track. So I'm going to put it right at the top of good, above Montreal and Melbourne. I think it's really good. I think it's probably one of the most unique, not in the calendar, and also one of the best and most exciting. And here we've got Zandvoort, and people are starting to complain about the width of the track and how it was made for an older generation of F1 cars. But actually, I think it's still an amazing track. I think the banking on some of those corners is just, you're never going to find it in an F1 track again. And it had a long break between the last season and the season before that. I can't remember when it was. Last time it was in the calendar before last season, but I think it should just stay because it is an amazing track, and it would be so devastating if we were to lose that uniqueness. So yeah, that is the end of my tier list. As you can see, I hope it's not too controversial. I don't think it is. I mean, maybe there are a few, maybe Baku, Mexico, maybe Las Vegas as well. But I do think that's generally what I think. So, like I said before, if you do have different opinions, put it in the comments. Love to read them. And as I said, at the end of the season, I will be doing another updated tier list to see how much my opinions have changed looking back at the other races. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of a different type of video to usual.